Yeah, today I want to announce and introduce you a gentleman who hasn't had a 9-to-5 job in over 35 years. He's done more than 4,000 comedy shows along many venues like the Comedy Club, Comedy Central, HBO specials, Dry Bar Comedy, McCurdy's Comedy, and dozens of cruise ship lines where he was even named by Carnival Entertainer of the Year. He also did a 3-year stint in wrestling where he amassed an unbelievable record of 0 and 264. Put your hands together for New Life Lutheran's own Al Ernst.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Rand, you guys did a terrific job putting this thing together. Please give yourselves all a huge round of applause. And as I say, when I am in my usual spot working here at the church, I am the best comedian in my price range. So yeah, so you kind of understand now. Most of you, as I'm looking out there, have already seen me either at McCurdy's or here. Hopefully, you're going to be used to laughing at some of the same stuff. Yeah, but I do have I believe it or not, I did think about a couple of new things. And one of the things straight off the bat, we are, everybody says, is it not awkward? Because I have worked probably 200 churches in the last 2.5 years. And everybody says, this is not awkward doing comedy at the altar. Does it not feel a little bit weird? Now, I guess we can ask the same things when we substitute communion for ready-made wafers and stale grape juice. But what I would say to you is this, is that believe it or not, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, one of the original Jewish people named Isaac, if you go back into the Hebrew translation of Isaac, that means to laugh or to have laughter. And I think if there's any way to honor God right off the bat, it's to have laughter. And our own Martin Luther said, I have as much laughter as I have faith. So you kind of understand where I'm coming from, and you kind of understand where this church's history is coming from. But first, I have to tell you, thank you for being so kind to help me out. And you're wondering, Al's on a cane. What is going on? What exactly happened? So with you guys, I share the real life stories. About 3 weeks ago, I was doing a big comedy show in Naples at a hotel, and at the hotel has portable staging. All right, and in that staging, normally for the entertainers on the stage, there is reflective tape, because they make the audience completely dark and they put a single spotlight on the entertainer. Now, however, this particular hotel did not have the reflective tape on it, and they shot the spotlight in my face. Show was going along good. I made one move to emphasize a point, and with that point, I emphasized the real point, because down I went. About a three foot drop. Yeah, about a 3-foot drop. And the problem was that I took a step forward. So everything of impact landed, all 300 pounds here hit against this heel and shoved everything straight up my body. Now you guys go, what's so funny about that? Well, the funny part is this was a Halloween celebration kind of thing. And it was completely dark. Nobody could see me down there, but by God, I was going to finish the show. So the first thing you saw about 3 seconds later was just one arm grabbing the stool. And believe it or not, I made my way back up to the stool. I finished the show. I did the meet and greet afterwards. And then I did not make it to I-75 in Naples, coming back to Sarasota before I went, something is really wrong here. So it turns out, yes, I have a hairline fracture on my femur. I have torn quadricep muscles. And they said, before we do surgery, Al, we want to try one thing. We want to try stem cells. I can give you stem cells. And of course, my first question is, where do you get the stem cells from? And the doctor looked at me, he says, Al, we get them from two places. We either take them from your calf or we take them from your fat. And there was a long pause, and he said, I think we both know where they're going to come from. So believe it or not, the stem cell treatment is working. It has been a tremendous thing. And yes, I have continued to hobble from one show to another because, as I say, in stand-up comedy or in any kind of entertainment, if you don't show up, folks, you don't get paid. So, and I can promise you, I have a wife now of almost 41 years that really enjoys that I get paid. So that is the thing. But what I did notice is any time in life is about stand-up comedy. I believe that. And I believe especially in these times they are. So I am in pain. I am driving back. I am on I-75, and I happen to pass through Port Charlotte. Honest to goodness, there are signs, our road signs, big advertising. First one says, it says, Lone Star Gun Range. Shoot your own machine gun. All right. The second sign, you come up a little further, and it says, this exit fireworks. All the fireworks you can get, discounted prices. Then the third sign reads, Fawcett Memorial Hospital emergency room waiting time. And I thought, yep, my goodness, they couldn't have gotten that whole row more perfectly than anything, And, anytime I think of Port Charlotte, I've got to tell you, I'm always thinking, what is the wait time at Fawcett Memorial Hospital? So, yeah, well, come on, you guys. I mean, we like Port Charlotte, but it is not exactly the brightest bulb on the tree down there. I mean, come on. They have big signs there that say, welcome to Port Charlotte, where the cars are on blocks and the homes are on wheels. And again, that's okay. I can say it. I'm from Georgia. Our state motto in Georgia is thank God for Alabama. So, okay, some of you are going to listen, I know the kind of group I am in here. Listen, there have not been so many Yankees surrounding one Southerner since Sherman burned down Atlanta. So that's okay. But we love to we love to have fun with our own stuff. And the biggest thing that I wanted to share with the group, because I kind of had an idea that it was mostly going to be folks that had not seen my show before. Everybody asked me, they go, Al, how did you start in this? How did this all take place? Well, to give you a quick overview, I was an executive director, college educated. I went to a comedy club in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where Gabe Kaplan from Welcome Back, Kotter was the headliner. And I got to tell you, I was totally enthralled with it. And I was the youth director at the YMCA, and I had all my staff there with me. And through that show, all my staff is elbowing me going, Al, you do this every day. You do this, and there is no difference between drunk adults and little kids. So you can do this. You can do this. So I got my courage together, and I stood up there, and I went for my very first open mic night, believe it or not, on my birthday, December 2nd, 1985. And that night, just like today, I had friends, tons of friends in the audience. And there wasn't a word that came out of my mouth where people just didn't go, you're hilarious. You're unbelievable. And I left that stage thinking I was the new star. I was waiting. Yeah, I was just waiting for the call to Hollywood at that point. And they said, no, you just got to come back the next week. So I came back the next week and none of my friends were in the audience. And you can imagine the kind of reception that I got at that point. And believe it or not, I was in Louisiana, and my first paid show was in a little town called Crowley, Louisiana. And I actually performed a la those of you that have seen the movie The Blues Brothers in front of chicken wire on the stage. Because I tell you, folks, if they really liked you, they threw their beer mugs right to the stage. So I came out with minimal cuts, and I continued to do this part-time, and then I made that fateful decision that I was going to go do this as a full-time career. And of course, I went and resigned, and my boss said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to be a comedian," and he laughed. And I said, "That'll be $100, please," because I am a professional. But the one thing that is totally different that people don't understand is I get so many accolades from folks going, Al, you lived your dream. I'm 62 years old. You've been doing this for 34 years. You have lived. Yes, I have. But my circumstances are not any different from your circumstances. It's a risk. And I promise you, the electric company here, Florida Power and Light, has never sent me a bill that said, "Dear Al, you were really funny this month. It's on us." Florida Power and Light sends me the same bill that they send you, which is, "You sat in air conditioning, it's July, and we want our $7 million. So you have to find a way. You have to find a way to do this. And excuse me for maybe being a little forward on this, but if you, those of us that are parishioners or are perusers of the Bible, we also know that Jesus did not go into all the holiest of places. Where did he make his biggest impact? Was amongst the people in some bad places. And I had to find a way to make $1. I had to find a way to pay those bills. And believe it or not, the only kind of place that hired new comedians that would give me the money to make it were burlesque clubs. Yes, I worked men's, gentlemen's clubs. And I can promise you that went over real well at home when I told my wife, until I told her how much I was going to make, and she said, "Enjoy yourself." So she just went, "Please don't let them pay you in cash. You'll come home with nothing." So believe it or not, this was 1987, and the advent of the brand new billboards were coming out that we all now have, Sarasota and everywhere, right? They're bright at night. You can see them and everything like that. And Atlanta was the first city that really had those brand new billboards. And this particular burlesque club happened to buy one of those billboards. And I said to myself, at the very least, I'm going to get to see my name in lights. That is what I'm going to get to do. So I am on the interstate driving into downtown Atlanta, and honest to goodness, the sign reads, "30 beautiful women, totally nude comedian." And my first words to the owner of that establishment is, "That little punctuation error may put you out of business right off the bat." So that is how it starts. Yes, I made it through those times, and I have, as Randy mentioned to you, I spent 2 years as a professional wrestler, and yes, my record was 0-264. And he is not lying one bit about that. But what I can tell you, when you are a professional wrestler, the check cleared. Yeah, well, some of you still don't understand. Yeah, we do know who's going to win at the end. And usually, now Randy gave me such a great introduction, but normally when they give me an introduction, they'll say something like, "Don't mess with him. He was a pro wrestler." And I get up there and say, "Mess with me, I'm going to lose." The only training I've ever gotten in combat is the learning how to be a professional wrestler. All right. If I get into a fight with you, the only way I know how to swing is to stomp my foot and miss you by that much. And then my head will start to bleed for no apparent reason. So, but these are the adventures that you have. And you say, wow, how does that taper in? You go any place to do comedy that you possibly can, that just like the rest of you out there that do things to make a living, that you can make a living at. Believe it or not, I was hired by Boar's Head Meats. Yes, I should be the poster child for Boar's Head Meats. But I was hired by Boar's Head Meats to actually do a campaign for them that was introducing a new form of, they were bringing out crackers. They were bringing out new crackers. Now, folks, I can promise you, if you see Boar's Head Meats crackers in your local deli, you should just go ahead and eat the cardboard box. They are not good, but they wanted me to do this, and they thought the most tremendous idea was, let's put the comedian in the deli with a small microphone system, and he will do jokes while people are ordering their deli. Yeah, I was at a Publix in Charleston, South Carolina, in the deli, standing there doing jokes, going, hey, you in the seafood, come on over. I got a joke for you. Listen, there's a good pickles joke. I got one for you right here. But the funniest part about that was that this particular Publix, like we all see Publix, had a giant picture of me out there in the very front parking lot on the side of the Publix, and it read, meet celebrity comedian Al Ernst, with my big picture presented by Boar's Head Meats. And I told my wife, well, that's going to stop traffic right there. I mean, there are hundreds of people coming going, Al Ernst at the Publix, we got to go buy a pound of ham. Come on. Let's go, So you wonder how in the heck did I get involved with this particular church? And those of you that are new, you wonder, the first thing that maybe if you look up, normally churches have paintings and we have some, stuff holy on the sides, but you look up here, it's a disco ball. And you wonder, what kind of church is this? Well, I have been here since the time before that this actual beautiful building was built, and the thing that attracted me most, we'll hobble and pick that up at the end of the show. But the thing that attracted me most to coming into this church was the fact that they met in a bar. We did. We met at Knights of Columbus. Yep. Right, and it was right next to a bar that was the Knights of Columbus bar, and I went, this is my kind of church right here. This puts a whole new meaning on the word communion. You don't commune by cups, you commune by bottles. So, but we actually met there, and the church had a disco ball inside the church. And when on Christmas Eves, every year at Christmas Eve, we would turn on that disco ball and have a little bit of more flavor for our candlelight service at the Knights of Columbus. So this is where we got to, and we ended up banding together. And it was, listen, it's a group of people from all walks of life, from all phases, that have come together and decided to have a church. They may have had a bad experience somewhere else, but they said, we're going to build a church. Now, at the time, we had a pastor who thought that money really didn't even exist, and that everything we should do, you better grab a hammer right now. And by golly, he was right. We ended up building this church, and now we're expanding, and things are that exciting. But we still have our nights, right? Our nights of mistakes. Jeff, I know you can speak to many as a clergyman that you go, uh-oh, we better laugh now because I just screwed up. right? And my favorite one was, I happened to be a part of it, so I have to tell you, we were celebrating the 500-year anniversary of the Reformation. And we had a big sign with Martin Luther's picture on it, and I ordered it from Vistaprint, and I spelled the word Reformation wrong. So we had a 10-foot banner that said celebrating 500 years of the Protestant rep for, I can't even pronounce it because it was spelled so badly. And I was gone, and the pastor emailed me and said, they made a mistake. And I looked at my spelling and I went, no, it was us in the land of misfit toys. I made a mistake right here. And that's what I mean. You got to enjoy it. You got to laugh at it. And the best part about our church, and those of you that are new to us and understand, we did with that poster? We put it right on that wall. That's right. Because people are fallible. And Martin Luther died 530 years ago. He's not going to know we spelled the Reformation wrong. Okay, some of you are going to get it, and some of you just going to stare. That's fine. We are fine. We are in church right now, and you're allowed to laugh. I mean, this side, sir, you are looking at me like an Amish person at Best Buy right now. And folks, it is time. The snow, can you believe it? Us locals, the snowbirds are already here. Is this not a little bit early? Come on. Oh, yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm sorry if you are a person that's here from the north, you are in violation of your visa right now. Okay? Yeah. Listen, I know that Pastor Jeff and some of the people that are much more scholarly biblical than me got with God to make sure that Easter was very early this year. Because you know what Easter symbolizes in the state of Florida. That means you're out of here. Hey, come on, you guys, don't look at me like that. There is a reason that Jesus came out of the tomb and pointed north. You're allowed to laugh. It's okay. I can tell you, God has a sense of humor. I know he does. I have seen myself naked. So there you go. See, this is the way it works, and especially in these times that we have. One of the greatest experiences I've had since we've come back to Sarasota is I have gotten to be a part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. And my little brother, when I first got matched up with him, my little brother was 6 years old, and he's coolest little kid in the world. And his name is Javier. And you were saying that is a real good matchup, a Latino and a redneck. How? And I say to you, have you never heard of Tex-Mex? So he is a great kid, but the neatest part about him was that he automatically, you would think he'd have interest in sports, right? Different sports that come from Latin America. And the first thing you think of is soccer. No, one of the first things this kid had an interest in was ice hockey. Yes, he loved ice hockey. Now here in Tampa, the area, you guys don't understand because you're all Yankees. You get ice hockey. Southerners, we do not get ice hockey. I can promise you, there's no way. And my little brother and his mom happened to be taking a vacation up where I was working in Nashville, Tennessee, and some of you may know there's a team there called the Nashville Predators. And I got to take him and his mom to his very first hockey game. And I can promise you folks, it is more fun to watch Southerners heckle hockey players than it is to see the game, because we don't know crap about hockey. We think it's NASCAR on ice down there. I mean, we're more excited when the Zambonis come out between periods, you know? And honest to goodness, my little brother, he is on his iPad and he knows exactly, he can explain to me what offsides is in ice hockey. And those of you that are hockey fans, if you might want to do that while I'm having a bratwurst, you might take an hour and a half, but I appreciate it. But what was funnier was we had two old boys, the typical Southern guys that were sitting about 2 rows in front of us who had no idea. And tell me this isn't true, wherever you live in the United States. Is this not true? The dumbest people say the loudest things. All right? The dumbest people say the loudest things in the middle. And in the middle of the hockey game, one of these guys stood up and yelled, "Hit them with your paddle." He went, "Don't take that crap off him. Take them knobs that are on your shoes and stab his butt." Folks, they couldn't even keep pucks in the arena. They couldn't. Every time a puck flew in the air, somebody yelled, "Pull!" Now, some of you may see me as a big guy and you say, man, automatically you see me with the shotgun and you know, yes, I like I said, I have been big my entire life and you stereotype me immediately as like, oh, he must go out and hunt. He must be a hunter. Now, I don't have, if it's legal and you want to do it, I have no problem with you hunting, but I'm sorry, those of you that are hunters out there, I say do not call hunting a sport. A sport is where both teams know there's a game going on. I mean, I could be pretty doggone good. You know, I haven't played football since I was in college, but I can promise you I could still sack Tom Brady harder than he has ever been hit in his career if we were at the mall. I'd just sneak up, take him right out, right there. So as I say, that's the magic of this. Now, my little brother, his other favorite sport is baseball. I happen, as you can tell, I'm wearing a hat in church, probably breaking all kinds of rules there, Pastor Jeff, but you know, well, you're the dean of the conference. By the way, we have a celebrity. He's a bigger celebrity than me. He's like the international dean of our big 7-church Lutheran area in the Southeast now. So I don't think we're going to be keeping him too long before he's at Joel Osteen's place. But my little brother loves baseball, and you guys all thinking right off the bat, a 6-year-old, you know, he wants to play catch, a field of dreams, you know, with his big brother. Well, however, a 60-year-old and a 60-year-old do not play catch. They play fetch, is what they play. I throw the ball out, he misses it, he goes and fetches it, he throws the ball over my head, I go and get it, and the dog is just upset. So we move from the front yard of playing catch to going out over to those little fields over there by our house. They've got a little set of baseball fields, and there's a big sign there that says now registering 5- and 6-year-old T-ball teams. Well, we call his mom because he wants to be on the team, and we go to register him, and the person taking my registration looks at me and says, what better experience for a new big brother than to be the head coach of a 5- and 6-year-old T-ball team. That's right. Now, some of you are way ahead of me on this. Let me fill the rest of you in on it. All right? The person who told me it'll be for fun, he's trying to convince me. The kids think it's for fun. They are 5 and 6 years old. They could care less who wins or loses. They care whether you're going to Dairy Queen or McDonald's when the game is over. And ladies and gentlemen, the parents belong in Iraq. Oh, come on, you guys. You can laugh at that because you give me 5 angry T-ball mamas and that Israeli conflict is over with immediately. All right? Mamas, I understand. You get upset about not playing, but I brought the wrong flavored juice boxes to practice and my car got vandalized. So little tip, do not bring lemon lime juice boxes, all right, to practice. But daddies, you're the ones I'm gonna call out. At least the mamas will tell me what they're thinking. Daddies, I'm gonna call you out because you will not volunteer, but you will show up and make little comments, right behind, just loud enough for me to hear. Now listen, you guys, I've got 12, 5, and 6-year-olds. I have never done this before, and one of my dads is just in my ear. My son's got to play third. My son's got to play third. His scholarship depends on it. His scholarship. I said, I did not know that they were drafting at Happy Hills Daycare right now. And this same guy runs out to his car and he goes and he gets a box of videos and he hands me the box of videos. I said, what are these? He goes, Al, listen, man, I have secretly gone off and videotaped all the other teams in the league for you. I said, you did what? He goes, yeah, I sat in my car and I videotaped the other teams while they were practicing on the playground. I said, let me get this right. You're telling me that you sat in your car and you secretly videotaped 5 and 6-year-old children on a playground. Is that what you're saying to me? Because that is a felony in the state of Florida, right? Or at least an episode of Dateline NBC, one of the two. I said, what do I need this for? He goes, Al, you need it for strategy. Strategy, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever seen strategy in a 4 and 5-year-old or 5 and 6-year-old T-ball game? No, the only strategy that you can hope for is that your team will run onto the field when it's supposed to. That's it. And they don't run to positions. They all are attached to one another and they run in little packs. Oh, come on, you guys. I have 8 center fielders and a second baseman. That's all I have. So I finally spread these children out into their positions, and I find this out, that no matter how hard you practice during the week, on a Saturday morning when it is game day, there is something in that sky that 4 and 5-year-olds can see. We don't know what that is, but whatever it is, they all look like they're in church in a praise and worship service. They're just... Now, I told my outfielders to get ready. I said, outfield, get ready. The ball could come to you. All of my outfielders took their gloves and put them on the top of their heads. I said, what are you doing? They said, this is in case any bird dookie should happen to get on my head. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your infielders will bring their gloves with them. However, they will not wear their glove. They will hold their glove and swing their glove and make religious symbols with their glove. And why do you ask? That is because when the other team hits the ball off the tee and the ball rolls by them, they can throw their glove at that ball. And then all 9 of these children chase this ball. So when the ball is gotten to, there's no one to throw the ball back to. But ladies and gentlemen, that does not matter because the ball is thrown anyway and a member of the other team catches this ball, who is then chasing his own player around the bases. Now, I'm not sure this is church appropriate, but it is a true story and it is real life. So I'm going to give you real life, and please pardon it if you did. But I told my pitcher, number one, here's the deal. You learn this when you're a T-ball coach. Everything you say, your little players take absolutely just verbatim, all right? They take it literally. One of my players came up and said, Coach, the first baseman keeps blocking me. I said, that's easy, just run around him. So he hit the ball and ran around him. He was tagged out 9 times. We lost 3 at-bats. But my all-time favorite, and this is why I don't hesitate, because like I said, God sees it. He knows what's going on. My pitcher, you don't pitch in T-ball, but we worked with this kid all season long, and we put him out on the pitcher's mound on the last game of the season, because honestly, the pitcher's mound is where most of the action happens. And I told him to get ready, and he proudly stood up, put his shoulders back, took his glove, spread it out as far as he could, and covered up. And honestly, it's not dirty. It's just a kid. He doesn't know, but I'm trying not to laugh. And I just look, I get, what are you doing? And he goes, my father told me that these were jewels and I needed to protect them at all costs. What do you say to that, right? Yeah, it's a kid, Now, I'm a comedian. I did not say this to him, but I did say it to myself, and I said, well, I've heard your mama talking, and I hear your daddies are cubic zirconium. But anyway, okay, some of you, yeah, it's okay. But I think the greatest part of what I get to do, and like I said, because most of you have seen me, you know where I do and how I do what I do. But it's the greatest part is I get to describe real life. And real life we can make a choice on that, And as my one buddy who is in minor league baseball says, that anytime that you're sad, you laugh it out. And you got to believe for sure that there's many things that are going on right now. God is either got his hand on his hips going, you got to be kidding me, or he is laughing pretty loud. So we go along with that. We have that happen. And it happened for me during the pandemic. It happened, because, boy, what a scene this was in the pandemic as we tried to come together and avoid each other all at the same time. I thought that was good. I like some of us who wore the full face mask welding helmets as they came in. I thought that was very interesting, made the communion cups a little bit difficult to maneuver, pulling it back. But my all-time favorite was in 2021. One of the health people came out. It was that last variant AB squared times 5 minus 6, right? I wish they would have just named them after hurricanes, Yeah, it's variant Ian coming in, And so what they say? The guy says on TV, goes, this one is the one. It is the toughest. He says, and if you're going to have romance that evening, we say to you, while you're having romance, you should wear a mask. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you I have been married for 41 years, and that has always been the rule at our house. I had no idea why I was the only one that had to wear the mask. But I was kind of happy with COVID because I only had to wear half a mask at that point. So So yes, with the bad leg, as I wrap up, but yes, and we could tell stories. We could tell stories in here all the time. We could tell the stories of, and those of you that will come at Christmas time, come see me at McCurdy's. But yes, I have a real live story of my mother bringing her into this church, who is on oxygen, trying to get through the Christmas Eve service, and convince her that she does not need to hold a candle with a live flame on it. So, so after we did blow up the altar in the first 3 rows right here, but yeah, listen, it is true. And my mama, she lived to be 87 years old, and I told her to act her age, and she died. So it's okay. It's okay, you guys. Come on, we have a lot of older people in this community. I mean, this is the only place where Miracle Ear has a superstore. I mean, right? I'm not lying. It's the when Bed Bath and Beyond, it's the only place that sells Ernst at Bed Bath and Beyond. Oh, some of you not gonna laugh at that. You're not even getting the joke. Why do they call it Beyond? Okay, thank you. I love the name of the company that sells the urns. It's Cremation, Think Outside the Box. Okay, good. I can wait for some of you, but I leave you with this story that I know many of you heard. My mama actually, while she was alive, she had a sense of humor just like me, all right? And honest to goodness, my mama said her wishes were she wanted to be cremated because she had a coupon. Right, act by Friday, get a 2-urn upgrade. Oh, Randy, thank goodness it wasn't a BOGO. But and actually my mama did. And my mama was, those of you that know my mom, she's cheap. She's tight with the dollar. And she says, if you're gonna spend money on me, spend money while I'm alive. I don't care what you do when I'm dead. And I just read where Costco is doing cremations. You can just take me to Costco. Right. And I have to laugh at that too, because I can still hear her voice going, you can just take me to Costco. And I'm going, Mama, I'm sorry. I'm not driving your deceased body to Costco and dropping you off. And besides, they do it in volume. You'd have to wait for 25 other people to die. And then you still have to bring your own box anyway. So what I say, folks, is that one of the original Jewish people on the earth of the 12 tribes, Isaac was right. You get the word laughter from Isaac. I believe that our founder of our church, Martin Luther, who said you have as much laughter as faith, is absolutely correct. And what I do with you today is I know big success. I've already, the Oompa band has started without us. We can't miss anything with that. I have not seen an accordion playing like that since Lawrence Welk. So come on, what was his name? Myron somebody or another. Listen, that's how old I am, all right? So I say to you, come on, enjoy your day. Yes, I will be at McCurdy's Comedy Theater from December 18th until December 21st. If you'd like to come out and see me there, I'd love to have you, but I've most enjoyed having this chance to be with you. Now, I will tell you about what's in the back there, because most comedians try to sell you something. I actually have a 501c3, which is a charitable organization that's called Laughter Saves Lives. Our Laughter Saves Lives emphasis is on animal rescue. And we have a rescue organization out of Brooksville, Florida, that is called Kathy's Canines and Kittens. And we have gotten them almost $3,000. Now, in the back, you'll see my little jester hat, and you'll see a dog biscuit opening bowl because I'm cheap. And I got all the biscuits out. The dogs were happy. And, but if you would like to, I'm not asking you to, I'm not telling you it's not a favor, but if you want to put $1 or $2 into that, you're more than welcome. And I can promise you 100% of those proceeds goes right to Kathy's. And then you say to yourself, come on, Al, you're doing this for free? You're doing this for free? Yes, I am doing this for free. However, before I leave you, I do have an investment opportunity. Now, I couldn't carry this in, but it is out by my car. You can come by and see me, and I can hook you up. I have acquired 15 cases of water from Camp Lejeune. Okay, some of you understand this. Yes, you don't have to buy an entire gallon. They come in little pint bottles, and they were bottled in 1975. So you don't have to drink the entire bottle. You just drink a couple of sips. You dial the convenient 1-800 number on the side, and we will agree to split any proceeds that you might make off of that. Now, if you're not into water, folks, in my trunk, I have a case of Roundup. If you would like that, there is also a number there on the Roundup bottle that you can call the lawyers on that one. If you're not into any of that, I also have talcum powder. And last but not least, if you have had any kind of, hernia, I do have a mesh substitute for you in there. In a way, we can begin that lawsuit. So, folks, with all that, I tell you, I love you. Thank you.
Yeah, big hand for Al. All right, we've got a lot more music, and we've got a lot more brats, a lot more beer, so let's return to the patio. Thanks, Al. Great job. That was great.
Good.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I'm sorry I went long, but they were soon. Okay, good. But it's all you, and you